Okay, so I'm going to do a review of your email. First thing you usually look at is formatting. So formatting is good, easy to read. We don't have long and difficult to read sentences, and I think we have easy to read words. Now let's look at the subject line. How one capsule saved my marriage. Very good subject line because it is short and it has a lot of curiosity and there's a benefit there. So this is good. So let's read the body copy. Dear friend, around 2 a.m., my wife woke me up and asked me to fill out divorce papers. Now, that is a very good way to start a story email. You're starting right in the middle. Very good. I think you're very good with doing this. Very fine. But I need to tell you this. You need to also find a way to mix up. If you write the same thing and the same style again and again and again and again, people will always somehow get tired of it. Okay, so it's good. All right, your story emails are good. One, this is good, but you don't have to always write only story emails. Okay, then you don't have to use the same style all the time. But so far this is good. All right, so let's go ahead. A lot of questions ran through my head. How did we get here? Okay, so I get it. Starting in the middle, then you start to tell the story from the beginning. Recently, I hadn't been the man I used to be in bed. Within a minute of intimacy, I would already ejaculate. It was frustrating my wife. It was frustrating. My wife was bitter and angry. I constantly left her disappointed and unsatisfied. I kept promising her things would change, or things would get better, but nothing changed for the next 2 years. But then she was already fed up. By then, she was already fed up. Financially, I was doing well. I had been running a successful business for 30 years. I could eat what I liked. Wear nice clothes, live in 3-bedroom apartment, and travel whenever I wanted. But my sex life was a disaster. I had been seeing a doctor for the past 2 years, but there was no improvement. The impact on my relationship was the impact on my relationship was devastating. That sentence seems to be coming out of nowhere. I'll probably just delete that. Then a friend I met at the airport recommended another doctor. I didn't even have to explain much because he sensed something was wrong from the closeness we once shared. That sentence also does not fit in. I don't understand what you mean. I didn't have to explain much because he sensed something was wrong from the closeness. That sentence is not proper. Fix it. I finally described my problem, expecting the same disappointing results. But to my surprise, the advice and solution were completely different. After 30 days of using the post-traumatic relax capsule from the doctor, my wife, who wanted the divorce, pleaded with me to stay. Now let me share something with you, something that you can also learn. Learn how to use dialogue. You learn how to use dialogue in your stories. So I want you to go Google how to use dialogue in stories. Then you're going to find resources on that. Dialogue is just people discussing, and that is one way to make your stories very, very animated and real. For example, when you have this conversation with a doctor, having 1 or 2 lines of dialogue would be perfect. Okay? So, the doctor introduced you. Now, the transition was not very smooth. Let's read that again. To my surprise, his advice and solution were completely different. After 30 days of using the Prostate Relax capsule from the doctor. Now, those two sentences seem to be disconnected. Alright? So you have a way to fix it because that is where you're slowly transitioning from the story to what you're selling. It's not smooth. So personally, I would say, now where you have the story about this doctor, new doctor, it's not also very smooth. And again, you don't have to write so many things. Say what you need to say in the shortest way possible. Delete any kind of fluff. Make your story concise. Okay? Personally, I like my emails to be direct, concise. This is something I can cut. I cut it out. Let me talk about the story about the second doctor. So let me say the way I would write it. Then I met a friend at the airport. Then a friend I met at the airport recommended another doctor. Alright, so then I said, when I met this doctor, I didn't have to explain my problem so much because he seemed to have an experience about this kind of problem. Bam. Every other thing there can delete it. He recommended I take the posted relax capsule. So after taking the drug for 30 days, something began to change in my life. I began to have longer, better erections. I began to satisfy my wife, and the first day that I lasted maybe 10 minutes, my wife was so shocked and was so excited. I could see I could see the joy on her face. Then soon after that, she decided to cancel the divorce plans. Not only did I win her heart again, but I also overcame my erectile dysfunction for good. Now my sexual performance has been completely transformed. My wife is crazy about me. She's not satisfied after 2 years, and I am the happiest man alive. Going to work with joy and coming back home to passionate, fulfilling relationship. All times for the prostate tap. If you want to overcome erectile dysfunction and boost your sexual health, try. If you want to correct erectile dysfunction and boost sexual health, go and get details about this stuff. Alright? Now, once again, your story has to make sense. So let me ask you a few questions. So you signed divorce papers, alright? You have to find a way to connect this signing of divorce papers. What happened? Is this the final destination? How many days after signing? So you signed the divorce papers, right? And you now got the drugs after signing the divorce papers. So you get my question. Did you sign the papers after getting the drugs? Did you get the drugs? Oh, sorry, not the drugs, the medication after signing the divorce papers? If you sign divorce papers, does it take 30 days? You know what I mean? So you have to make sure the story makes sense. Someone signs divorce papers and you get access to medication and use it for 30 days. So if divorce papers are signed, are you not ready to get I don't know the process, but I'm saying that you should find out and make sure the story makes sense. So make sure you understand the process, okay? But overall, this is a good story. Just clean out some of the details. Again, you don't have to use long sentences or sentences that are not necessary. Delete out sentences that are not necessary. Just go straight to the point. Tell your story. Convey your message. Use dialogue if you have to. And then if you notice that I rewrote part of that story, you can do the same, or you can write another one. So what I would advise, rewrite this email using some of the changes I've shared with you and send it back. All right. No need send new emails when you have not polished the old emails. Okay, so do that. Let me see. Thank you. I hope this helps.